What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's little episode, we got ourselves the new Charger whirler, you know, the alternator. And I found a box of goodies inside of the car last night going through it. So we got the ECM tuning software and whatnot for the tuning, and a new clutch flywheel cover. It's all shiny. A plastic trim piece, the half moon cylinder head seal gasket, which I'm guessing that's why we're getting some. That side looks good, this side's a little leaky, or maybe it's just for this side, who knows. We'll figure it out when we get there. A new oil pressure sensor, because the one down here ain't looking too good, probably doesn't work. And then a clutch throwout bearing that's all brand new in here in the box. So I'm guessing it's got an ACT clutch in it at least. Oh, and a thermostat gasket. And then some Subaru drive shaft carrier bearing support bushings that are made out of like metal, probably aluminum or something. But I wonder if these are some sort of an upgrade usable piece on this thing. So we'll figure that out when we get there too. So yeah, also got a oil filter, fuel filter, spark plugs. But when I pulled it out and looked at the spark plug, it looks pretty good. That looks damn near like a brand new plug in there, so we'll run it. I found some paperwork last night in here. It said in 2017 it had 130,000 miles, and they stopped driving it in 2019, and it's got 141. So they roughly put about 5,000 to 6,000 miles a year on it. So yeah, we're just gonna have to figure this part out down there. Maybe that's why it had an alternator charging issue. So that'll be fun. The other fun part is when I try to pull the plug out, it runs right into the fill neck on the dipstick. So I'm just gonna have to move the alternator one way or the other, take the belt off and get that out. But I'll have this thing also checked at the store before I return it as a core, just to make sure that it is a dead alternator and not their horrible wiring that obviously needs to be fixed anyway. So we're gonna be doing that, all of that stuff before it even gets fired over or anything like that. Fuel filter is relatively easy to get to, right there. So that'll be easy. Looks like the thermostat gasket's literally right here on top, staring at you in the face. So we'll do that. It looks like it did kind of leak right there, where it's a little crusty, and you can just barely see it right there. If it'll zoom, there we go. A little crusty right there, and over there. So we'll get that all squared away and set up, redone. I'm probably gonna delete the power steering. It looks like it only goes to the water pump and kind of just like gets power from the water pump getting power from the crank. So it can be deleted and without a problem. So we'll probably end up deleting that for now because I just got this all cleaned up. There was power steering fluid everywhere. She came out looking really nice though. Even the engine bay. I didn't really pressure wash down there. Didn't want to hit wires and go through firewall things and whatnot. Also, there was a lot of trash in the car. Really a bunch of old trash. But we're going to end up vacuuming this out. This is disgusting. There's like debris and stuff. I don't want to know what kind of stains those are. But we'll OxyClean those off. Also, the rear hatch seal, when I was pressure washing it, a little bit of water was getting in, so we got a little bit of a pool right there. That's the only water spot I found in the whole thing. Shitty thing is they don't make these gaskets anymore, but I looked on the forum and found that a guy put an Amazon link to a make your own gasket, so we'll do that. Jesus Christ, that wasp is getting all up in the face. Yeah, I had to kill a lot of wasps in here too. They're coming out from every little nook and cranny, really. So, yeah, we'll get all this put on and cleaned up, and you'll get to see it when it's done. Okay, it's all coming together now why it was parked up, because of a dead alternator. In order to get the alternator out, you have to remove a fair amount of turbo stuff, because there's not enough room down there, because there's two cross members that meet each other, and you can't pull it out through the front because there's no room there. But what I did notice is the alternator died because of the power steering. Now, I've always really not ever had power steering, or I always disconnected it. You know, you get a better feel for the wheel when you're driving. So they had theirs leaking. Well, I can kind of see that this isn't a factory bolt with a, you know, lock washer. That's not right. But also, that is not the bolt that would go there. I can tell you that. That's just the way it is. And also, this little sensor that plugs in right here, and it's not the whole sensor, it's just the head of the sensor. So it just probably pisses oil out of this right onto this alternator, and that's what killed it. So I'm thinking we're just gonna delete the whole power steering for now, and maybe find a new setup. Well, at least new hardware, and probably a new pump if it's been run dry, which, oh yeah, bone dry, just some, looks like insect sediments and stuff. Nothing even on the dipstick. Really clean though. That'll at least clean up nice. That's a plus to a, you know, silver lining to a dark cloud, I guess, right? And yeah, just kind of cleaning up things a little bit as we go. But yeah, I'm trying to get this alternator out, so we're gonna delete that, like I said. Okay, we got the power steering pump out of the way. Now we can get the alternator out of the way. There's still one little bolt down there that you can't really see because it's so greasy. But we'll get that out. Then we'll change the oil filter, since it's just conveniently placed right below it. Really need to pressure wash this off, so I might go up and grab some gas for the pressure washer too. I mean, if it's all out of there, I like a clean working environment. I don't like it all, you know, getting your hands all grimy when you're trying to work on stuff. Hate that the most. But yeah, gonna get this alternator pulled out, and then we'll get her cleaned up, and we'll check out those wires. So let's get to it. All right, got the power steering pulled out. Got the alternator pulled out. Gives us enough room to work on this wiring. I'm also gonna go get some gas for the pressure washer and pressure wash this whole area out. I had to take off the wastegate and disconnect the lower V-band. The lower V-band to get the oil filter off, and then to get the alternator out, I had to disconnect the wastegate. So that was fun. Just replaced the oil filter. Just wrote 141K on it, just so that way I could know when it was done last. But yeah, we'll be getting to the rest of it now. Coming along real nicely though. Do like how it's looking. Also ordered a new dipstick because this one's all broken right here, and they had it shoved way too far in there. So that's coming too. Okay, so this is where we're at. Old alternator harness. Yes, I've talked about it a bunch. It's really shitty, right? All blown apart and nasty. Well, check this out. I went up and grabbed an old Nissan harness from one of the old S12s that I have. And I shit you not, it takes the same plug. It just bloop, connects right in. I got my big power wire right here for that. I got my ground wire for right there. I mean, that's crazy that these share the exact same alternator harness as a Nissan. That just blows my mind. I do like how Nissan, the harness, as you can see, is you can take out just this segment of it, whereas the DSM, it goes into another harness and goes everywhere throughout the whole car. So in order to change out just your alternator harness, theoretically you'd have to get an entire new harness, or do what I'm doing and splice it in And this is like literally the perfect splice that you could ever get. So stoked on that one. Glad that I saved parts like a pack rat. So we'll get this cut, switched over. Got some heat shrink solder joints that we're gonna put in there so it's all nice and legit. Looks a lot better now that it's all pressure washed too. Now I can rub my hands down in here and not get anything on it. Like, that is great. I love being able to work in an area where you don't get covered in oil. So it's coming along nicely. I guess I can take this off now. Just didn't want to get water down in there, obviously. So we'll get the alternator put in after I get this wiring done and see what's next after that. But we're moving right along. All right, new alternator is in. Belt is on and nice and tight. Wiring is new and redone, so that's good. I'm not going to worry about that single wire that's going out to right here because it went up to the power steering pump sensor thing, which that's not going to be there anymore. So yeah, next we'll just put some oil in this thing and get some gas in it, and I still have to go get a battery for it, and then we can give it a test, see if it'll start up, see how it runs. Hopefully it's not knocking. That'd suck. Top end or bottom end knocking. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this little episode. We're just getting all the little maintenance stuff done. Hopefully on this next one we'll get the battery and fire it up. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.